Hey everyone, welcome to On the Rocks. I'm your trail guide, Claudia Faust. Every week I'll take you on a new adventure as I check hikes, waterfalls, and other outdoor activities off of my Arizona bucket list. Today we're heading into the Sonoran Desert. I'm out at the Saguaro Lake Guest Ranch for my favorite Arizona activity of all time. The ranch is located right on the banks of the Salt River, and even before we begin our adventure, I'm in awe of the picturesque views of the Bulldog Cliffs and all of the saguaros and other cacti in bloom. But today we're not climbing those majestic cliffs, instead we're going to the river. So get your life jackets on and join me for my favorite kayak trip ever. But first, orientation.
My name is Josh.
Josh went over some basic kayaking tips and then he passed it on to Andrew for more on the river.
Safety tips.
Our flow is at about 1,100 cubic feet per second. That does change each day, but we have a really good flow today with an average depth anywhere between 4 to 5 feet for most of your trip today. Ready to go?
And we're off. But first we have to pass a quick test so our guides can make sure we'll be able to manage the 2 hours on the river by ourselves. Probably my favorite test I've ever taken.
Well, this right here is my favorite summer outdoor activity, and it's because it's so much cooler in this water. It's actually pretty much ice cold, but the views are stunning. This is definitely the best summer activity.
Our awesome guides gave us 3 landmarks or signs to pay attention to so we stay on track.
5 minutes downriver from when I launch you, you're going to come across your first of 2 major forks. In the center of this fork is a big yellow sign that says keep left with an arrow pointing left. That sign is there for you, so make sure you go ahead and follow that left.
Here we have our first of many light rapid sections.
Once you finish on the rapids over there, you come into this nice steady flow and you have the most beautiful view of the Bulldog Cliffs.
This here is one of the deepest parts of the river at about 15 feet deep, which is great because you want to take it slow to really take in these breathtaking views. And that's my advice for this adventure. Take your time and keep your eyes open for the wildlife.
This river is so peaceful and quiet. The only sound is coming from us and our kayaks.
At this point, we saw several beautiful birds and we even saw a river otter, but sadly, he was too quick to catch on camera. Some of these animals will be hard to miss though. You'll see what I mean later.
You're going to see some power lines that stretch across the top of the river. When you see those power lines, it's an indication that your second major fork is coming up and that you're also on your second deep water section. Go ahead and take that right side of the fork there. The right side we call the bypass because it bypasses Snake Rapids, which is going to be on the left side of this fork.
Okay, so I usually take Snake Rapids for a little extra adventure, but the bypass was so scenic I didn't regret it. Oh, and remember those animals I said would be hard to miss? Yeah, there they are. Every time I come out here, I see nearly a dozen wild horses, sometimes more.
This is truly the best part of doing the kayaking here. You see so many wild horses.
Usually I've already seen plenty of horses by this time earlier in the trip, but I knew if they would be anywhere, they'd be right here in this final section of our river route. This was the earliest launch time I've ever had, at 8 a.m., and it was worth it. We practically had the river to ourselves. We only saw 2 other kayaks and 2 men fishing. That's it.
And your exit is coming up on your left side. What you're looking for is a sign on the tree line that says Foxtail Exit ahead. Then just a few yards past that sign is a big gravel beach with a concrete road that goes right into the water.
And sadly, the kayak trip has come to an end.
Kayaking on the Salt River is always an absolute blast. Yes, you will get pretty soaking wet. It's fine to wear a bathing suit, whatever you want to do. But this never fails me. I've done this about 5 times now. I've always seen horses, so much wildlife. It's so peaceful and serene out here. I highly recommend going out to the Saguaro Lake Ranch, renting a kayak, and hitting the river.
Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time on the rocks.